Hi crafters, thank you so much for stopping by. So in today's video, I'm just going to be sharing with you some changes that Stampin' Up! Is doing, which you've probably all heard by now. But I have something to show you that I was so excited about one of the changes. So first, let's just talk about the changes. And I'm just kind of going to read you what I was sent, basically. So the cling stamps, which are the red rubber stamps, they have decided to discontinue the line due to the key raw materials becoming increasingly difficult to source, with some no longer being manufactured at all. And they said they will continue to offer a wide range of photopolymer stamps to support various artistic styles and techniques. Then the Stampin' Right markers, they said that they have also decided to discontinue the Stampin' Right markers. They said with the growing popularity of Stampin' Blends, they have seen a steady decline in sales of Stampin' Right markers. One of the primary techniques unique to Stampin' Right markers is coloring directly on cling stamps, the red rubber stamps, a technique that will become less relevant as we transition away from cling. And then they have a new and improved stamp and die packaging. As part of their transition away from cling stamps, it says that they are excited to introduce updated packaging for stamps and dies. And this is the one change that I am totally excited about, and I'll show you that in a minute. Because the photopolymer stamps are thinner, we are able, it says, to offer sleeker, slimmer packaging that saves space. Both stamps and dies will now come in the same size and style of packaging, making it easier than ever to store bundles and coordinating products. The new packaging is similar to our current die packaging, durable, clear plastic envelopes, but with an exciting improvement, they said. The die packaging will now feature printed artwork for quick and easy identification. Stamp packaging will continue to display the artwork as well. So the transitions, basically it says, starting with the November 2025 online exclusives, all new stamps will be photopolymer. In the September through December 2025 mini catalog that you should have already received if you're a customer of mine. So that's going to be the last printed catalog that will include cling stamps, the red rubber. Then the last online exclusives to include cling stamps is going to be in this month's online exclusives. Then in December of 2025, all cling stamps in the mini catalog, in the September through December mini catalog, will move to the last chance products and be available while supplies last. No cling stamps from the mini catalog will carry over. And then in April of 2026, all cling stamps in the 2025-2026 annual catalog will move to the last chance products and be available while supplies last. No cling stamps from the annual catalog will carry over. And then the rubber stamps, the cling stamps, released in online exclusives through September of 2025 will be supported based on demand until April of 2026 at the latest. Some will likely discontinue prior to April. So then, let's see. In April of 2026, all remaining cling stamps across their offering will move to the last chance products and be available while supplies last. So that's kind of the rundown. Now, before I got this announcement, I was starting to work on taking my stamp sets that are in these cases. I had already started figuring out a way to make more room for them. So I bought these envelopes and magnets from Amazon, and I will put my affiliate link in the description box. And what I'm doing is I'm going through each of my stamp sets that have dies in them. Now, if they didn't have dies, I've left them in their cases because I don't need to put them in here because I don't need a magnet because these envelopes that I bought have the magnet in it. So what I'm doing is I basically take all my magnets from here and I put them on here. And then if it's a cling, which is the red rubber, what I do is I just take them off of here and I've been putting them on this side. So let me go ahead and get all this done, and then I will come back and show you what I do after I've transitioned the dies to the magnet and the clings to the back of this. Okay, so I went ahead and I've transferred them onto this and my dies on the magnet part, and I have my little number down here of how many dies are in this set. And then what I do is I take this out, and let me tell you, I've got tons of these. I don't even know what I'm going to do with them because I've heard that some people are still liking the cases, so maybe I can find somebody who's interested in these cases with the magnets already in them, because I've already got 3 of the shopping bags that I take to the grocery store with me full. Now I only have a few more left to finish, but I need to find out how to do with those that are left over. So then I take my part that came out of there and I just go ahead and I cut this strip off because I don't need that strip anymore, because the strip was to show what was in the set when it was in the cases, but I don't need that anymore. So then what I do is I take this and I put that on there, and then I take my envelope and then I just slide these in there. Now, because they're the red rubber, the cling stamps, they tend to be a little thicker, and so that was one of the reasons that I was really excited, because as you can see, it kind of flops open here, but once I kind of put them with the other ones, this lays down flatter. But what I was so excited about was the new packaging is going to basically be this, except it's going to be in a in what the dies come in now. But I was so excited because that's exactly what I was starting to do even before they made that announcement. And then what I do is I did the same thing with the photopolymer sets, but since I don't need to add these on here, I just leave them on their plastics here, and then I go ahead and I take out that sleeve, and again I cut it down and take that side border off there, and then I grab my envelope, and now what I do is I just put this in here, and then I just lay this on top, and then I put that in there as well. Now, that one was a little thicker because it had 2 of the photopolymers, but usually they're only on 1, and so um, they won't be as thick. But even so, it still works. And there I have that one done. So what I have done, and here is a picture. So I had this wall. Now, I thought I had a picture of it with all the cases on there. But I don't know. I can't find it. But here is what it looks like now that I'm making this conversion with the dies and the stamp sets. But if you notice, like where the cases are in each of those little sections, it holds about 27. Now that first section on the left there is holding 61 bundles. Now the middle section isn't holding as many because probably I had more of the cling rubber stamps in there. But still, look at the big difference. Look at how much I'm saving by switching him over to what I started. That is why I was so excited about their new packaging. Now, I know some people are not happy about getting rid of the red rubber, but I remember when I had stepped down from Stampin' Up a couple of maybe a year and a half, maybe, when my husband was sick, and I just couldn't be a caregiver and do Stampin' Up and all that at the same time. And when I decided to come back, I couldn't make up my mind at the time if I wanted to do Close to My Heart or Stampin' Up, because I loved the photopolymer stamps and how the storage was so small in the Close to My Heart. But I ended up deciding to come back to Stampin' Up. And I was very happy that I did. Well, obviously now for two reasons, because Close to My Heart is no longer. But I just, when I'm out on Pinterest and stuff, I really see more ideas with the Stampin' Up products. So I was really glad that I came back with Stampin' Up instead of Close to My Heart. So and now it's going to be kind of what I really wanted when I decided to come back anyway. And then what I've done is I had a second iPad that was starting to just not work anymore. And so what I've done, and this is kind of going to hopefully be a temporary fix, and maybe it'll be my fix forever. But I've gone through, before I started doing all this changing, I went through and took pictures of all like these are all the Christmas. And I took pictures of it, and I have it on here so that I can just, if I'm looking for something, I can just scroll through it. And then if we look farther down, those were the ones that didn't have dies with it. But like for this example, I would take a picture of the dies that went with it, so that I can like sit down and scroll through here and see if I'm looking for a specific word, or if I want to see what's in the die set, because sometimes these die sets have some cool elements that I wouldn't think of. So I've done that, and I just store this on my old iPad that I no longer use, except this is going to store my photos. And hopefully someday I can get all these pictures and stuff into, I was thinking of Color My Life. I think that's what it's called. And then I could put tags in it if I'm looking for something. But you know what? For right now, this seems to work great. So I have a picture of all my stamp sets. I haven't done my fall ones or any of well, I did do my wood ones that I have. Let's see where they're, I did do, well, I don't think I've done all my wood ones. These are just the ones that I had in trays in the garage. So I do need to do all my wood you know, the blocks that we had in the beginning. I still need to do all of them and a few more, but this has really been so helpful. So I just wanted to share it with you all in case you liked any of these ideas. Now, I just have been spending the whole week reorganizing my papers, and the way I had them done before, it wasn't working for me. So hopefully, in another video, I can show you what I've done with my 12 by 12 designer papers and my 6 by 6s, and how I store my retired ink pads and retired papers and so forth. So I kind of just want to start sharing with you some of the ways that I store stuff, because it might be helpful to you. So this is all I have left to convert to the envelopes with the magnets in it. So these ones are already done here. I have a few that are already done. And then I can just put them on there, and that task will be done. And then I can continue on with my other project with my paper so that I can come back and show you what I'm doing there. I forgot to show you what it looks like when you have a photopolymer set that has these inserts in there. So I cut them down as well, and then I lay this on top of here, and then I put this on top, and then I bring in my envelope and do the same thing. But the one I showed you before didn't have that. It was an older set, so then I'll just put all that in there together. So I had to make this second little video so that I could show you that. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video and the tips that I shared. And if you did, you can show me your joy by giving it a thumbs up. Okay, well, until my next video, have fun crafting, everyone. And remember, choose joy. And may God bless you all. Bye-bye.